What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is SonicRanger. Welcome back to Beacon Pines. I took a bit of a break. My heart needed some time to recuperate from the last time, and we're back to Chapter 6. So we're going to go right into it because I'm very excited to see where this is going.
Secret lair. Summer forged ahead, but the nights only seemed to grow colder.
Oh, give me a moment. I forgot I turned my sound down. I wish to hear all the greatness. That'll do.
Luca walked home slowly under the pale starlight, cautious to avoid any more surprises lurking in the shadows. Reaching home, he slipped quietly into bed, half dreading what they might discover the next day.
What time is it? More stern. I swear if Rollo's missing again. Oh, good. Rollo, what on earth is that? That ridiculous thing on your head. Oh, this? It helps me think. You're gonna need a lot more of those. Joke all you want. We'll see who's laughing when I crack this case wide open. The coast clear? Yep, whatever she's been up to this week, it's been keeping her busy most of the day. Even though you just woke up. Very well. The game is afoot.
Luca and Beck rolled their eyes as Rollo strutted across the room.
If I were a Graham, where would I hide my deepest, darkest secrets? How about the closet that she keeps the children out of? Perhaps where you might least expect it.
Rollo flung open the cabinet with confidence.
Ha-ha!
He coughed as a veil of dust hit his face.
I think it's safe to assume anything that dusty isn't what we're looking for. Or maybe that's what she wants you to think. Then again, any good detective knows not to trust their first hunch. First hunches are for suckers. Eureka! She's lit a fire in order to burn the evidence. She keeps that fire going every day, Rollo. Drat, I may already be too late. Just think of the amounts of documents lost to ash. Okay, I'm gonna stop you right there. Can we just think for a moment? Luca, is there anywhere Gran doesn't want you to go? Yeah, the closet upstairs. So maybe it stands to reason that we should check there first. No dice, it's locked. Well, well, well. Look who stands to reason now. And I have no idea where the key is. If it really is important, then she probably keeps it with her. Anywhere else? She has her berry bushes. Who has ever thought, I'm going to take this important thing and huck it in a bush? True. Anything else? Maybe something out of the ordinary? Well, she is always worried I'll break her fancy dishware in the kitchen. Now I wonder what that could mean. No, you did not hear the music pause for a moment. Not at all. You heard nothing. But it doesn't matter anyway. I can't reach the latch.
A look of realization crept onto Luca's face. All three kids snapped to glance at each other, then sprinted in turn toward the kitchen.
All right, Rollo. This is your time to shine. Oh, yes. You've called upon my expert detective skills. And now I shall proceed with...
Before he could finish, Luca scrambled up Rollo's back.
Hey, this isn't my idea of detective work. Every squad needs a good lockpick. And every good lockpick needs a sturdy head to sit on. This is beneath my standing. Stop complaining and hold still. Got it.
The three crowded around the hutch to peer in. With the glass doors opened, a perfect porcelain display gleamed in front of them. Their eyes searched for anything amiss, but the only distinct feature was its impeccability.
Well, that was anticlimactic. Yeah. I don't really know what we were expecting. Like, oh hey, Let me just hang on this random teacup and...
As Beck pulled on one of the teacups, it slanted forward with a hollow click.
Oh, snap.
The entire hutch began to rustle and slide under its own power.
Oh my gosh. Seems like your gran has been doing some remodeling. Dude, only 2 types of people have secret lairs. Evil masterminds and superheroes. So which do you think she is? We're about to find out. Okay, so more of an unhinged conspiracy type? Oh, wow. Yeah, this cannot be good. We need to look around before jumping to conclusions.
Luca jostled each cabinet drawer in turn. Only one was unlocked. He fingered through the filing cabinet, pausing at a bulging folder labeled Walter. For a long moment, he just stared at
That
it.
must be his dad's name. What do you got there? It's my dad. It looks like some of his old medical files. Your dad was a doctor?
Luca nodded and caressed the label with his thumb.
Well, are you gonna read it? Here, let me help.
Rollo swiped the folder from the drawer and began leafing through the pages. He whistled to himself, barely looking at the text.
How about you actually read some of that? 1 sec. Dense documents such as these are a lot like a cheeseburger. It's best to skip straight to the middle. That's where all the meaty bits live. Wow, I had no idea we were in the presence of a preeminent scholar in dense documents and cheeseburgers. By all means, proceed.
He stopped at a page and mimed, holding up a monocle.
Ah, here we are. Follow-up examination of Terrence Wilby. Patient shows further signs of paleness and malaise. I don't know how to pronounce that. Wait a minute. Isn't Willoughby the name of the person who died that we found the body of? Body temperature continues to drop. He now describes soreness of muscle and joints. This is similar to the symptoms exhibited by Mrs. Willoughby just a few days past. That wasn't the person. Still waiting on lab results from Joseph.
Rollo looked up
No,
with heightened surprise.
Joseph is the... See? Creepy. Yeah, that's kind of disturbing. Who's Joseph? That's Mr. Nuncreed's name. Oh. Wait,
Rollo's finger traced across the page.
there's more scribbled in the margins. Could it be contagious? Mr. Wilby claims the tap water at his home has been contaminated. Perhaps environmental? Lab results only raise more questions. It's like he came back to this report later and made those notes. So it might be related to something else.
Rollo scanned through several more pages.
Here, the writing looks shaky. I just couldn't help her. This disease, or whatever it is, progresses so fast. And with his wife passing, Terrence's condition follows close behind. Exacerbated by the loss. Enough is enough. I need to take matters into my own hands.
Luca, staring blankly at the cabinet this whole time, spoke softly.
What does it say next?
Rollo rustled the folder, trying to loose more pages.
And that's where it ends. What? There has to be more.
Luca frantically shoved the remaining cabinet folders, trying to find another labeled Walter.
Luca, I think that's the only one. It's alphabetical, see? What did he mean enough is enough? How did he take matters into his own hands? This is... naughty words.
Luca slammed the drawer shut.
Children shouldn't use naughty words. Luca, behave. I know you're angry.
A spider web of string connected photos of people from the town, interspersed with hastily scrawled notes.
Oh, she sure has kept herself busy. Is your gran a serial killer? 'Cause I'm starting to get a vibe. Don't be ridiculous. Sure, she's just tracking the movements of everyone in town. Out of the kindness of her heart. She put little symbols by some of them. Yeah, Mr. Nuncreed has a check mark. The clipboards are all inside a big circle. My mom's are both on here. Both with question marks. Oh, as in who's on which side. Gus Valentine has a question mark. Harris has a question mark that's been crossed out. Mr. Care has a bullseye. The killer has chosen her next victim. We don't know what any of this means. Whatever it means, it's probably not good. So she's deciding who is on their side and who's on the side of the organization. So that's why Care has the bullseye, because he's the target, while her moms both have question mark because Gran doesn't know them, so she doesn't know what side they're on. And the mayor has been sticking a little too closely to Care lately, so I guess it makes sense. And even Eris, who we now know is actually on board with all of this, she would have her question mark crossed out. Though it doesn't say it has a check mark, though. I'm sorry, I have to. I want a charm for that. Oh, what do we have here? Barrels marked caution explosive. Well, that's the explosion we saw before the heartbreaking ending. And jam jars? Oh my gosh! She's jamming bombs? Jarring bombs. I meant jarring. She's jarring explosive jam? What the heck? That's enough jam to feed the whole town. What kind of incendiary jam is your Gran making? Look at you using big words. She wouldn't have had me walk around town delivering bombs, right? Only one way to find out.
Rollo casually spun open a lid and dipped his finger in the jam.
Huckleberries.
He smacked his lips.
A hint of brown sugar. And ink? What?
Rollo plunged his hand in the jar, fishing out a soggy slip of paper.
Aha!
Rollo offered the slimy note to Luca and licked his fingers clean.
It's addressed to Mrs. Fratelli. A grand jamgram? It says, last night I used the disguise Eris provided to scout the location. The timing window should be possible. Operation Sparkplug is a go. Oh man, are they doing a heist? Whatever it is, it can't be good. So more a bombshell than a bomb, am I right? You're new here, so I'll let it slide. But I'm the bad joke guy around here.
They crowded around a worn-down old map of Beacon Pines.
Cool, this looks like a treasure map. Not every old map is a treasure map, Rollo. Yeah, but every treasure map is an old map. Can't fault that logic. Look, there's even a pathway drawn on it. It starts at the entrance of town. And if we follow it...
Rollo carefully traced the path with his finger.
It leads right to...
He jabbed down at the end point.
Town Square? That's the fountain in the middle of town. What a weird place to hide treasure. Rollo, that doesn't look like treasure to me. The end of the path on that map has the same symbol as these explosives over here. So... What the... Huh? Why'd you stop? I don't know if it froze in the video, but it froze for me. Okay, so it's not hiding treasure? A real bummer. Rollo, what's that thing you've been excited about for the past month? The festival. Did you just say gulp? This feels like a gulp kind of situation. Everyone will be gathered near the center of town. She's gonna blow up the festival! Not if we stop her. Uh-oh. What was that?
Luca looked up from the map.
What was that? No, I heard it too. That was the front door. Which means someone just shut the door. Which means someone's upstairs. Shh, quiet. Hit the lights.
Beck flicked off the light, and they became statues in the dark. Overhead, creaking floorboards bent under slow, deliberate steps. The kids looked up, the tilt of their necks following each footfall. Then suddenly, it stopped. Without realizing, they'd been holding their breath. All three exhaled shakily and glanced at each other.
So am I.
A muffled male voice broke the silence.
It's not Gran. Oh no. Oh wait. Hello?
A final few footsteps reached the entrance above them, and the voice now echoed down the stairs.
For a second I thought it was the clipboards. Anyone down there?
The three kids shuffled to the corners without a peep. As he began to descend the stairs, the man's voice punctuated every new step. Thump,
Yoo-hoo.
thump,
I'm not here to hurt anyone.
thump,
I'm just here to help. Just...
thump. At the bottom step, the man paused, squinting to search the room for signs of life.
Huh. Guess it's nothing.
Rollo shifted suddenly. Luca gave him an intense, chastising look and whispered through clenched teeth.
Rollo, don't.
It was too late. Rollo was already inching toward the stairway. He screeched as he charged toward the shadowy figure.
Rollo. Flamin' chicken coop!
With all his weight, Rollo tackled the man to the ground.
Rollo? Mysterious creepy man? Anyone there?
From the dark corner, they saw something move.
Well, I didn't know if I had it in me. But there was only one way to find out. Crap, Rollo, that was awesome. Wait, did you just kill that person?
Luca scrambled to the hunched figure on the ground. Pressing his fingers to the man's neck, he sighed with relief.
You sure clobbered him good, Rollo. He's knocked out cold.
As Beck flicked back on the light, Luca and Rollo both gasped in stereo.
Mr. Tolliver.
Chapter 7. The Interrogation of Hiram Tolliver.
Snap.
Still unconscious, Mr. Tolliver slumped heavily in a shoddy old chair. His hands were bound with rope, his feet tied with some loose string. The kids huddled in a circle, discussing their plan. One thing was certain, they couldn't just let Mr. Tolliver go. They needed to know what he was doing in Luca's house. After some deliberation, it was decided.
They'd run the classic good cop, blank cop interrogation. Chill or hard cop? I'm gonna go with chill because I'm a chill person.
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
I wonder if there's somewhere you can get bad, because that's probably gonna be the one we need. I'll handle this. Just gotta play it cool.
Luca walked calmly to the light switch, flicking it off and on a few times. Mr. Tolliver shook his head, gathering his wits.
Golly, sure got my bell rung.
He looked over to find Luca, who returned a calming grin.
Sorry, Mr. Tolliver. This was all a big mistake. Luca, what's going on here? Why do you have me strapped down? No one's fault, really. Rollo just got a little startled. Rollo's here?
Rollo and Beck emerged from hiding to give a timid wave.
Well, alright. Nah, mistakes happen. You kids gave old Hiram a good scare. Let's just get me out of these ropes and call it even.
Luca glanced over to Rollo and Beck, who replied with skeptical looks.
Mr. Tolliver, why are you in my Grand's basement? I'm here to help, of course. Help with what? What's my Gran up to? If you'll just cut me loose, I can show you. How do we know we can trust you?
Mr. Tolliver exhaled with disappointment.
Luca, have I ever done wrong by you? No. And since your Gran moved to town, haven't I been nothing but welcoming? Yeah. So why would I turn my back on your family now? It's just... all this stuff seems pretty weird. A board with names of people from town? An archive of my dad's old disturbing patient notes?
Luca gestured to the corner.
Barrels of explosives? I can explain everything. You just need to untie me. You kids deserve an explanation.
Luca looked again to Rollo and Beck. This time they shrugged. Luca began to slowly loosen the bindings. Mr. Tolliver gently rubbed his wrists.
That's a good lad. This will all make sense in time.
He edged imperceptibly toward the stairs as he spoke.
You see, this town has secrets, Luca. A very dark past indeed.
Before the kids had even noticed his movement, Mr. Tolliver was at the light switch.
A past that must be brought to
He punctuated his final words by flicking the switch and rushing up the stairs.
light. Son of a...
Beck darted to the wall and turned back on the lights. It was too late. Rollo confirmed what they all heard.
He just locked us down here.
Mr. Tolliver's muffled voice came from behind the door.
I wasn't lying, you know. This is for your own good. You kids just keep tight down there. And let the adults handle this.
They looked bewildered at each other.
Play it cool, huh? Not now, Beck.
They heard the staccato thump of quick steps exiting the house. The kids looked down in resignation. This isn't how it goes in Hank Atomic. For some reason, they'd always assumed it was up to them to save their town. Luca opened his mouth, hoping to conjure some magical words to make this right. Only a hollow croak escaped. The end. Well, we certainly aren't going to find a grand resolution to our tale locked in a
Especially
basement.
since I'm pretty confident that is the next day they're going to be frozen in that basement.
Back to the drawing board.
Beginner's Guide to Hostile Interrogation. Okay, so now that we've done that, we should check out some of the other decisions we have. So we've done all of these. That one I'm sure we probably need another one for. And this one, I'm curious what will happen if we take flight. Let's check it out. I'm curious.
Luca drew himself up and decided to take the only option they had left. Flight. He squinted down the barrel of the mission control defense cannon, aiming it through an opening in the dense tree branches. He looked up with surprise as it struck true and taut.
Wow, I can't believe that worked. Hey, Mr. Kerr. We'd love to hear your thoughts, but I'm afraid we have places to be. Come on, Iggy. See you, jerks. Fine. We know where that leads them. This way, we'll take the tunnels. Tunnels?
Luca and Iggy winced as they sprinted through the thicket. The branches clawed at them, reluctant to give passage. After what felt like a marathon, Luca stopped in his tracks as they reached the clearing. What the? That was all he was able to say before Iggy slammed into his back. The boys tumbled down a steep decline and crashed with a wheezing thud on a surface as hard as ice. In fact, it was ice.
Oh, crap. What did
Chapter
we find?
5. Signs. They stood silently, catching their breath. The sky was like sapphire. With each breath, a plume of steam escaped from Luca's lungs. Let's keep moving. Luca pulled Iggy to his feet as they gazed across a snowy terrain.
Snowy I wonder... Huh. Oh, I get it, because they're further in the... That's actually pretty cool. Uh-huh. I think we lost him. Are we up in the mountains? I don't think so. If anything, we went downhill. Then what's up with the Winter Wonderland? All I know is there's no going back the way we came. Let's see if we can get our bearings. Follow me. I think it's safe to say we're further into the woods.
A disc of smooth metal was lightly covered in snow. Two faint seams were visible along the surface.
A manhole cover? If it is, I've never seen one like it. Guess we're going this way, kids. Luca! Luca, are you there?
Luca had almost forgotten the walkie-talkie he was carrying.
It's that... Oh, that was Kerr. It's that bozo Kerr. I hope nothing bad has happened to you out in those woods.
Luca looked at Iggy with hesitation.
No need to be rude.
With a resigned sigh, Luca responded.
It seems like the only dangerous thing in the woods is you. He speaks, the young man of the hour. Now, how in tarnation did you end up with one of our radios? Just lucky, I guess. Boy, howdy, you Van Horns are full of surprises, aren't you? You knew my parents? I never had the honor of meeting your father, but your mom was a handful.
Luca winced, shoving the walkie-talkie back into his pocket.
We gotta keep moving. We're going this. No, we're going this way. There's nowhere to go. Uh-oh. Wait. Oh gosh. Wait, what happened? How did we not get frozen? Everything else froze. What's the readout? Sitting just above 258 Kelvin. That's down a bit from last time. Should we report this to Mr. Kerr? Meh, still within safe ranges. Wait, so then it didn't just... I was gonna say that area looked like where his house should have been, but it's not. What is this place? Maybe spreading, but it's under control for now. Even a small nudge in the equilibrium could cause a cascade. Dude, relax. Just a few more sites to hit before we can punch out. Let's get this over with. What's all this? Hard to say with all this snow. I think it's a town sign. I can almost make out letters under there. What town could this even be? Couldn't be another town this deep in Weep Wood. I'm looking at evidence to the contrary. Let's figure out what we're dealing with here. One step, snow's gotta go. I'll see what I can do. Situations such as these I find it best to chuck stuff first and ask questions later. I don't have anything to throw at it. Oh. I still suck at throwing these snowballs. Yep. I am confused as heck right now.
The boys stared in disbelief at the sign that now clearly read, "Welcome to Beacon Pines."
This doesn't make any sense. We're in Beacon Pines? How's that possible? We ran away from town. How did we get back here? I guess we got turned around. No. What, did they rebuild Beacon Pines? After what happened years ago? Where did all this snow come from? Well, it's been colder than normal lately. That's a pretty big difference between sweater weather and this Arctic hexscape. The puddle we fought at before. It was cold too. Maybe all of it leads to one source. You think it's related? The heck is going on? We're gonna get you some answers. Let's keep moving. Does stuff look familiar to you? It looks like the barrel near the puddle I, shoved me into, yeah.
The fencing glistened, each chain link encapsulated with a translucent layer of ice.
Looks like the stuff they put up around Weep Wood. The stuff who put up? I don't know. It's all frozen.
Looking down at the frozen stream, Luca could faintly see a school of minnows encased in the ice.
Whatever happened here, it happened fast. The fish didn't even have time to run. Or, swim run. So it looks like they literally just rebuilt Beacon Pines.
The crunching of footsteps trailing Luca went hush. He looked back to see Iggy's face twisted with confusion.
Everyone's gone. What? There's nothing here but snow. But more snow. There must be an explanation for all of this. We have to keep looking. You can look all you want. I quit. Iggy, we have to keep going. You don't get it, do you? This isn't one of your pathetic Hank Atomic stories. We aren't going to save the day. We aren't even going to save ourselves. My face is mangled, the town is destroyed, and everyone we've ever known is gone. We don't know that. You can't just quit. Do whatever you want. I'm done. Iggy, it's gonna be okay.
Luca peered upward at the darkening sky. He let out a long, foggy breath. Faintly, Iggy began to cry. Seeing Iggy in such a pathetic state gave Luca a sense of compassion, and more than a little guilt.
It is getting pretty late, I think. Probably not a great idea to stumble around in the dark anyway.
Luca allowed himself to collapse next to Iggy.
Let's just rest for a bit.
The boys huddled together for warmth and comfort. If not for exhaustion, their minds would be racing, trying to make sense of the events of the day. As it was, all they had energy for was to sit in silence, numb.
Freeze to death. The way the snow covered everything over. It's kind of calming. Yeah. I haven't had time to say it, but thanks. Huh? For getting us away from those creeps. I sort of froze up back there. Iggy, I should be the one apologizing. This all happened because I lost my temper. Nah, that's blocky. First of all, you didn't know what the gunk would do. You didn't, right? Of course not. And second, stop with this baloney about losing your temper. But I did lose my temper.
Iggy motioned sarcastically to his half-deformed face.
Obviously. But that's exactly what you should have done. Huh? I was being a butt. You were supposed to be a butt in response. That's how it works. Iggy, I'm having a hard time following. You wanted me to fight you? Of course. Jeez, you goody-goody types take forever to understand this very basic point. Why do you go around saying cruel things trying to get into fights?
Iggy shrugged.
It's something to do. You're a jerk because you're bored? Sometimes I feel empty. You wouldn't understand. You and Rolo are always having a blast together. Laughing and calling that dinky little treehouse mission control.
Iggy now wept openly.
Perfect little Luca Van Horn. With his perfect little life. Life is not perfect. Everybody in town likes you. Not everybody. Heck, that new girl hasn't even unpacked yet and she already likes you. You have Tish.
He wiped his nose with a sleeve.
I love Tish. Tish is great. But she ain't exactly the world's greatest conversationalist, you know.
Luca gave a warm chuckle.
I get that impression.
Iggy cleared his throat as he wiped his eyes.
It must be raining out here. Definitely.
Iggy arched into a wide yawn.
We should probably try to get some sleep. Yeah. Let's lay low for now. Tomorrow we'll get to the bottom of all this.
Luca's eyelids began to slowly drift shut.
Luca? Yeah? I always did want to see inside of your dinky little treehouse. What did you think? Not bad. I'll give you the full tour when we get back. You know what? Huh?
That's all Luca could whisper before succumbing to sleep. Iggy snuggled in some more.
When it comes to worst days of my entire life, this one wasn't half bad.
house smelled of warm bread. Luca was playing with toy blocks on the living room rug. He looked up to see his parents on the couch. His mother held his father's head in her lap. She idly stroked his hair while humming a song. A voice behind Luca spoke. "This is how you remember them, huh?" Luca turned to see his own face. The doppelganger from his dreams, still clad in a yellow hazmat suit, still carrying a look of disdain behind empty eyes. "Aww, look at this perfectly cozy scene. You know it wasn't really like this." The figure picked up a toy block and inspected it. "It's amazing the facades that one can build given the right materials. Not that I blame us. These are a child's memories, all warm and fuzzy. You don't remember, do you?" Lucas snatched the block from the figure's yellow-gloved hand. "Remember what?" The doppelganger pointed to the couch. "The last day we saw him alive. The day he chose to abandon us." Luca turned to look at his father, still lounging on the couch. "That's not true. He didn't abandon us." The doppelganger waved his hand dismissively. "Everything is true here. It's just a matter of what we choose to see. Let me show you." The world flickered and pulsed. Luca was sitting next to his bed, listening to his heartbeat with one of his dad's stethoscopes. The doppelganger limped into the room. No, we both know that's not how this went." He grabbed Luca's hand and guided the stethoscope to the floor. Luca heard muffled shouting, brought close by the stethoscope. It was his parents, fighting. "Do you remember what we did next?" Luca gave a slow nod and crept down the hall to peek through the banister. He could see the outline of his mother at the bottom of the stairs. "Damn it, Walt, we can't afford to get involved in this." She was scared. His father stepped forward. "What am I supposed to do? Just watch? There's a sickness in this town, and we both know who's behind it. I swore an oath to help people. I won't turn my back on them." Luca's mother grabbed Walt. She was crying, pleading. "I can't lose you." Walt calmly removed Eleanor's hand from his shoulder. "What's right is right, and what's wrong is wrong. I could never live with myself if I let Sharper get away with this." Eleanor raised her voice. "Spare me your bullshit platitudes. What about our son?" Luca flinched, dropping the stethoscope down the stairs. Walt turned with a panicked smile. "Luca, is that you, buddy?" With tears in his eyes, Luca descended the stairs. "Mom? Dad? What's going on?" Walt dropped to a knee to meet Luca eye to eye. "Nothing, buckaroo. Your mom and I just got a little overexcited is all." Luca placed the stethoscope against his father's chest. His heart was racing. "It sounded like you were going somewhere." Walt gently removed the device from Luca's ears. "Listen to me, Luca. I have some business to take care of. I'll be back in time to tuck you in." Luca hugged his father tightly. "Promise?" Walt stood up and walked to the door. He glanced over his shoulder. "I promise." With a wink and a grin, he put on his hat and strode out into the evening sun. A figure approached soundlessly from the foggy snowfall. It stood above them, lingering in contemplation. Slowly raising one hand above Iggy, it snapped out 2 brisk raps on his head. From a deep slumber, Iggy sprang up defensively.
"Get your hands off me!" Cute mouse.
Whether it was the calming presence or the recognition that he was not in danger, Iggy felt his clenched fists lower.
"Just what do you think you're doing?"
Luca looked up, gradually remembering his whereabouts. The figure exhaled a cloud of warm vapor.
"You two certainly have caused a lot of commotion." "What's that supposed to mean?" "Take it easy, Icky. We were asleep minding our own business. You're the one running around knocking on people's heads." "I'm sorry if I hurt you, Icky." "You didn't hurt nobody." "Anybody?" "Huh? Oh, I see. You think you're better than me, you..."
When it came to complete strangers, Iggy had trouble cobbling together an insult.
"You big-headed..." scarfy necks, furball. Okay, let's lower the temperature a bit here. Interesting choice of words. I mean, let's all just calm down. Who are you? A friend. An observer. A hitchhiker on the infinite expanse of possibility. Great. How about a name? If you must call me something, you can call me Nat.
Iggy huffed with gratification.
How about you make like a gnat and buzz off? Very well.
Nat began to turn away indifferently.
Wait, do you live here? You might say that. So you know where we are? You might also say that. Look, pal, we just want to find a safe way out of here. You gonna help us or not? Before knowing how to leave, one must know where they are. Alright, that does it. Luca, I don't know about you, but I'm getting out of here, one way or another.
Iggy turned sharply and began to stomp off.
Enough with the riddles. Iggy, wait up.
Realizing he'd worn their patience then, Nat relented.
Very well, I suppose this isn't the time for metaphors. I'll show you how to get back home.
Luca and Iggy turned around with hope in their eyes.
Come here.
Nat took a deep breath in.
Close your eyes.
Nat exhaled slowly, then snapped his fingers.
Okay, open them.
For a brief moment, Luca and Iggy let themselves believe that some great magic was about to unfold, until they opened their eyes and found themselves in the exact same place, cold and disheartened.
This is your home. This is Beacon Pines. Look now, we don't know how we got here. Maybe we stumbled through some time travel gate in Weepwood? Or we teleported to some alternate universe? Are we really gonna pull a full-on Dr. Stone right now and say that they froze at some point and then woke up? Or is this all just some cruel experiment by Kerr and his goons? But this is not our home. You're inching closer to the truth. Alas, the reality is much less fanciful. Just give it to us straight. So be it. As I said, this is Beacon Pines. The original true Beacon Pines. You both grew up here. But the town you've called your home for the past several years is a replica. Okay, so my first guess was correct. A remarkable achievement of engineering, to be fair. But a replica nonetheless. That's impossible. It's too much work. You'd need a whole town to replicate a whole town. Indeed, to pull off such a feat would require immense labor power. That which could be moved would be moved. That which could not would require a precise duplicate. We would have noticed. Someone would have noticed. You'd think so, unless the adult auditing was impeccable. A mind-numbing attention to detail. Oh my gosh, they got to stay in a hotel. That week they were in a hotel. They replicated the town. My gosh. As for the innumerable trivialities which complete the tapestry. Too many big words, Mouse Man. Well, you can leave that to the miraculous thing we call a brain. It has a real aversion to discontinuity. A revulsion, even. The brain has a wonderful way of smoothing out the rough edges, keeping us sane. Don't say things like that. My brain already has enough trouble with things like that. My memory is terrible, so if you replicated something and left me to figure out whether or not it's real or not, that would be a hard thing to do.
Luca and Iggy looked around uncomfortably.
So you're saying that someone made an entire new town and moved us all and no one noticed? Precisely. But why? Why is the one question that can never be answered with certainty. The best one can do is uncover.
Nat narrowed his eyes, furrowed his brow, and uttered,
The source. Why'd you say the source like that? Why indeed?
Luca began to laugh uncomfortably.
It's all ridiculous. There's no way they could.
He looked down at his feet. His eyes darted back and forth in contemplation.
The source that took his father from him. The fire on the town.
With a sudden pain, a thought struck him.
If this really is home.
He sprinted off into the pale distance.
Oh crap.
As Iggy turned to follow, Nat called out.
Iggy, it's not too late to turn back. Simply head west through Weep Wood.
Chapter 6. The Source. Nat expressed his sympathy with a shrug and sauntered off as unassumingly as he'd arrived. He'd given Luca and Iggy what they needed, and nothing more. As Luca sprinted across the snow, the events of the past few days became clearer, pieces to a larger puzzle. Rollo said he was underground somewhere, captured.
Oh, that's right. This is the version that Rollo's still captured.
Mr. Kerr tried to cover it up with lies. The clipboards were hell-bent on capturing Iggy. It all seemed to point to perennial harvest. But right now, there was one thing that Luca needed to know.
That was his dad's grave there.
Luca stopped dead in his tracks. The tree was gone, uprooted and moved, leaving a raw gash in the earth. He dropped to his knees and dug wildly at the cold snow. His numb hands hit something hard. A dry whisper escaped Luca's lips.
You're here. All this time I thought I was visiting you. But you've been here, alone, in the snow. Dad, I'm so sorry. They ruined your favorite spot in the world. Our favorite spot in the world. Dad, what do I do?
There was no reply, just snow-covered silence.
Why'd you give me the slip like that? What if I couldn't find you, you jerk?
Iggy finally noticed the tears welling in Luca's eyes and the snow-covered grave.
Oh. Iggy, they stole his tree, Iggy. Yikes.
Suddenly, they heard the crunch of approaching footsteps in the snow.
Crap. We gotta hide. Good thing your footprints disappeared. 259K. Fallout distance is still good. Dude, did you hear me? I said 259. Sorry. You ever think about what we did here? We saved a whole town of people. Doesn't feel like it sometimes. What about everything we left behind? That's the grave of someone with a family. The people who love them will never know the truth. The truth is overrated.
He bent down to scoop up a snowball and lobbed it playfully.
Hey, don't be such a downer, dude. We took this job to change the world. Yeah. Come on. It's almost lunchtime. Weirdo. I was gonna say, I'm like, was that a glitch or was that him actually sauntering off fanciful? Here I thought I was a jerk. These dinguses are literally out here dancing on graves.
Luca stuttered through heaving sobs.
I thought I was visiting him. I thought he was with me. Not gonna lie, that's a bad break. Here's some advice.
Iggy gave Luca a solid smack on the back of his head.
Hey! Who's any of this helping? What? Sitting here in the snow crying like some pushover? Who you helping? Iggy, look what they did. They lied to everyone. Blah, blah, blah. Luca Van Horn, you're a lot of things, but you ain't no pushover. What did I tell you before? When some jerk comes at you acting like a jerk, I should stand up for myself. Heck yeah. Kerr and his merry little band of clipboards pushed off this witcheroo for a reason, right? Nat mentioned something about a source.
Luca wiped his eyes with a sleeve.
Whatever's at the source must be awfully valuable to perennial harvest. Sure would be a shame if something unfortunate were to happen to their precious source, wouldn't it? What do you have in mind? If it's small enough to steal, we snatch it. If it's too big to snatch, we smash it. And what if it's too big to smash?
Iggy flashed a mischievous smile and cracked his knuckles.
I'm always up for a challenge. I'm gonna make this right, Dad. I promise. Let's do it. Well, alright then. They literally moved their house? It can be awful cold out there in those woods, Luca. Probably best you two stay put and conserve your energy. Help's on the way. Where's Rollo? Where's my mom? Did you kill her? Oh, heavens no. Do I seem like a killer to you?
Iggy and Luca shared a skeptical look.
Well, do I? Aw, shucks. Now that hurts my feelings. Screw that guy. Wait a minute. If this is the original town, then that means...
Iggy darted behind a large pine and began digging furiously. He emerged holding a shoebox with a crude skull painted on its lid.
Oh, what's that? Long story. So a few years back, I, came into possession of some premium grade fireworks. Not the wimpy firecracker stuff they give kids. The good stuff. So why did you bury it under a tree? That's the long part of the story. You and Rollo were doing chores at Rollo's chicken coop, and you guys ticked me off for some reason or another.
Luca rolled his eyes with realization.
He started the coop fire? No, you didn't.
Iggy stifled a chuckle.
Yep. I just wanted to give you guys a little scare. But like I said, these were some primo fireworks. So I might have underestimated things. You blew up the chicken coop? I prefer to think of it as an incendiary decoration. Sorry, but you should have seen the look on your faces. Rollo got grounded for months, which is why I needed to stash the evidence and lay low. So I buried him under that tree. But when I came back for him later, they were gone. I figured some grown-up found them and tossed them.
Iggy triumphantly raised the shoebox.
Turns out it wasn't the fireworks that got moved. It was us. Unbelievable. Do you think this is a game? Newsflash, boyo. You're not a hero. You're a little brat who is way over his head. A hero is just someone who refuses to give up. Comics these days are rotting children's brains. Everyone thinks they're a spaceman superhero. I was always partial to Hank Atomic myself. Is that so? Do you really think you have a chance against us? You have no idea how powerful we are. Prepare to blast off, loser. Oh, there's a big old hole down here.
Luca and Iggy inched up to the edge of the hole with bewilderment in their eyes. Arctic air breathed out of the cavern in heaving gusts.
Echo! 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 Whoa. I can see why they wanted to move us all out of town now. But why would they dig a giant hole? I think this is it. This is the source? It's a dang hole! How do we smash a hole? Uh-oh. Oh, it's much more than that, my annoying little friend. Kerr, where's Rollo? I wasn't lying before, he's safe. Well, safer than you two, at least. Drats, it's cold. You just had to drag me all the way out here, didn't you?
Mr. Kerr gazed down the abyss in contemplation.
It really is something, isn't it? What did you do to our town? What is all of this? Well, it's a doozy of a question. This is the source, where they collect the unrefined,
Kerr scratched the back of his head.
Honestly, boys, I don't understand any of this well enough to explain it. As a matter of fact, I'm not paid to know. What do you mean you don't know? Ain't you in charge? Oh, heavens no. My role is merely to flash a winning smile and manage various complications. So someone is above him. Complications like us? You are a smart boy.
His face contorted into a saccharine grin.
Oh gosh, it really is nothing personal. Some people are destined to strive for greatness, and others are simply obstacles along the way. Seems like you were destined to be a creepy lackey. The point is that we all play our part in life. Mine just happens to be a lead in the role of a lifetime. And you happen to be extras, ready for your curtain call. We aren't giving up without a fight. Your smile's not gonna be winning after we're done with you. Now, boys, there's no need for melodrama. It makes even a professional such as myself embarrassed for you. Let's change the mood a bit.
Kerr snapped his fingers.
Scene change. Uh-oh. There, that's better. Deal with them.
Iggy turned to Luca with a sly glance.
Why are you smirking? Because I have a box full of fireworks and you don't?
Iggy waved
Oh,
the box
gosh.
into the air, threatening to drop it down the hole.
Stop! Let's not do something regrettable. Joke's on you. Regret is one of my specialties. Out of curiosity, what would happen if I threw these in your precious hole? Nothing. Nothing at all. You're a terrible liar. I'll have you know, I am an exceptional liar. Bup, that's far enough.
Iggy plucked a single bottle rocket from the box and held it up with reverence.
Stop, you fool! Call off your goons.
After a long pause, Mr. Kerr flung up his hand with frustration.
Very well. You can all head back for the night. It's been a long day. I'll handle these two from here.
Mr. Kerr sighed into the frigid air.
It's just us now, Iggy. You can put that down. Like, what? What, like this?
With a nonchalant flick, Iggy tossed the firework into the hole.
You! Ooh. Whoa.
With a growl, Kerr leapt at Iggy, crashing through Luca.
Whoa.
Iggy tried to twist away, but in the struggle they both tumbled over the side. Luca dove forward, bracing Iggy's hand just before it slipped. His grip was made precarious by the cold, wet snow. He could see Kerr further down, clinging to Iggy's coat.
You reckless child, what have you done? Luca, listen to me. Hold on tight and use the walkie-talkie to call them back. What channel do I use? It doesn't make a difference, they're always listening. If you do that, the clipboards will just haul us up and snag us both. The only way you get out of this is if Kerr's out of the picture. Just let go and save yourself. If he lets go, we both die. I don't want to die, but seeing the look on your face almost makes it worth it. Mr. Kerr, you've had a long life. Why don't you actually do something selfless and just let go?
Mr. Kerr gasped with insult.
Long life? I'll have you know I can still play 25. You should have heard me sing the part of Phyllis and Young.
With a wild look in his eye, Mr. Kerr began to hum a proud melody.
Pa-dum-dum, pa-dum-dum-dum. Wow, can you believe this guy? Huh.
Luca's hand began to cramp. His voice began to crack.
Kerr, just let go! No can do. If you want to save your friend, you'll have to save me too. Luca, look at me. It's okay.
Luca felt Iggy loosen his grasp.
You aren't going to kill your friend like that, are you?
Every muscle in Luca's body burned.
I'm not his friend. Yes, you are. Nah, I'm just a no-good bully. Like you, Kerr. Iggy, no.
Luca felt his hand slipping.
And I told you what you need to do with bullies. I can't. It's your only way out of this mess. 2 birds with 1 stone. It makes sense for us to fall together. Wackadoos travel in packs.
A calm settled over Iggy's face.
Luca, let me do this.
Iggy's voice was colder than the bitter air billowing from the chasm.
Let me do this. Let me do the right thing for once. I have to accept his request. It hurts, but I have to accept his request. Even though I'm pretty sure refuse will give me a dead end. I probably should go for the dead end one. But at the same time, I can't say no to his determination. I'm just gonna accept.
Luca had no choice but to accept Iggy's request. With a quiet blink, Luca watched a teardrop sail down into the howling void. As his fingers slowly gave up, he met eyes with Iggy.
Good.
The two silhouettes were swallowed by darkness.
Probably should move away from that. Heck of a goodbye, Iggy. Luca, you should really step back. What? Quickly? Yeah, probably should get a woo. Curious. Ah, but of course. Those fireworks of Iggy must have been just the right amount of energy. We should get out of here before perennial harvest arrives. Not until you tell me what just happened. Your friend's sacrifice just saved this town. For a little while, anyway. How? Tempest liquormine is a particular substance. It can change the relationship between matter and time itself. But doing so requires unfathomable energy. In a closed system, that energy can only come from its surroundings. A useful side project of this property being, by adding precisely the correct amount of energy to it, one can create a cryogenic cascade. So the gunk makes things cold and the fireworks made the hole freeze over? That's one way of putting it, yes. As dumb luck would have it, the fireworks weren't strong enough to regenerate a runaway reaction. I shudder to think what would have happened in that case.
We have some idea what that would look like.
Yes, we do. Good gosh, yes, we do. It will take them a good while to safely break through and access the source again. If you know all this stuff, why haven't you been helping? I have been, in my way. Each one of us has our role to play. Iggy's role, it turns out, was to buy us precious time. Mine has been to observe and wait. Wait for what? You. Me? Why? What's my role?
A fierce twinkle flashed in Nat's eyes.
Luca Van Horn, you are going to save the world.
With a chuckle, Nat turned and walked west. Dumbfounded, Luca followed behind him, trudging through the snow. Every step taking him further away from everyone and everything he knew, and closer to destiny. To be continued in Beacon Pines, Pines Harder.
What?
Revenge served cold.
What?
Second time's a charm?
I mean, I know this is trying to tell me something. 2 blank charm.
Wait, that's it? This ends with a crummy cliffhanger just when it was getting good? I was even starting to like Iggy.
Same.
No way. I refuse to be associated with some never-ending parade of sequels. Let's go back and find something more definitive.
I have to go in and see what happens if I refuse. At least.
Luca had no choice but to refuse Iggy's request. He tightened his grip and reached for the walkie-talkie in his pocket. A wild delight crept onto Mr. Kerr's face. That's a good lad. Now, radio for help. Iggy begged Luca with his eyes one last time, but Luca pressed the button and called out. We need help. Mr. Kerr is in danger. It wasn't long before they were once again surrounded by clipboards. Mr. Kerr sighed with relieved frustration. There you are. You really are a worthless lot, aren't you? Mirror, now. A clipboard dutifully produced an ornate ivory hand mirror, and Mr. Kerr began preening his tousled hair. Ah, that's better. Mr. Van Horn, I applaud your sharp thinking under duress. I'll put in a good word for you with the founder. Take them away. A swarm of hands overpowered Luca. The last thing he saw before a cloth bag was pulled over his head was the defeated look on Iggy's face. The end. I think this was one of those times where doing the right thing was the wrong thing.
No, it would have just brought me back to Refuse. Alright, so I guess we're going this way. I wonder what two in the lines and then charm. I wonder what the two meant. Well, we'll figure it out, I'm sure. Oops! No!
They'd run the classic good cop, chill cop interrogation.
Dang it. This one. I already know what that one gets you. Oh, that was far. We were just there. Hard cop.
They'd run the classic good cop, hard cop interrogation. Rollo brandished a steely gaze. I've got this. Read about it 100 times.
Let's see what happens when we're a hard cop.
Rollo swaggered past the chair which propped up the slumping Hiram Tolliver. Without even looking at his captive, he began with a long, blustery drawl.
Well, Mr. Tolliver.
Mr. Tolliver remained motionless. Rollo spun around to face him. He'd clearly expected to rouse Mr. Tolliver with his booming voice.
Mr. Tolliver?
Beck and Luca gave each other an unsure glance. Rollo slammed his fist on the table.
I said, Mr. Tolliver!
He grabbed the table lamp and beamed it onto the unconscious face. Mr. Tolliver groaned and slowly lifted his head. He recoiled with a muddled, weary squint.
What in the world?
The chair wobbled as he attempted to straighten up.
Who's there?
Mr. Tolliver could only make out rough shapes through the glaring light. With a gruff tone, Rollo hoped to both conceal his voice and intimidate.
I'll be asking the questions here, punk. Oh, hold on. Let's just calm down. Oh, I am calm. Calm as a carrot in dirt. As for you, looks like you're sweating.
The doubtful expression on Beck and Luca's faces transformed into awe.
We can do this my way, or... let's just say, I've never needed another way.
Rollo, hitting his stride, was now channeling every detective trope his memory could recall. He slammed the table again.
Now dance! What? I don't even...
Mr. Tolliver's voice became desperate. He was nearly in tears.
Mr. Tolliver, you've tied me down. How on earth can I dance? Dance with your mouth, punk. Hold on, I'm checking something real quick. I guess we'll just get to the next chapter part. Or dead end, whichever one comes first. Spill the beans! What are you doing poking around the house? I'm here to help Juniper. To make sure everything's ready. Oh, so you're in cahoots with Gran? Gran?
Mr. Tolliver was in a daze, now more confused than ever.
Gonna help her blow up the festival, huh? Blow up the festival? Good goodness.
He shook his head, feeling more and more dizzy.
No, you've got it all wrong. Where is she now? She's headed to the source. Source? What's the source? It's where...
His voice faded to a whisper.
The town began. Where it all began. What is Operation Sparkplug?
With that, Mr. Tolliver passed out cold.
He passed out? Oops.
Rollo swung around with a repentant grimace.
Dang, Rollo. I think you went a little too hard on him. What did he say about the source? It's where the town began? We need more information. Yeah, but we'd better not push Mr. Tolliver any further. Is there anyone else who might know more? What about the History Museum? It just got set up for the festival. Nah, that tent was put up by the Valentines. everything they do is just a bunch of fluff to glorify themselves. Is there anything more reliable? The library. If there's any information about this source thing, Kato can help us find it. Let's go get some answers. Oh, thanks. Didn't want to have to walk all the way here. Kato, you cute little thing. This is a dang nice library.
Thanks. We work hard on it.
Aren't you a little young to be a librarian?
Oh,
Kato hung out here so much, eventually they gave him a set of keys.
I just keep an eye on the place for Mrs. Novak sometimes.
They got you working for free?
It's fine. I get access to all the books I can read. What more could a person want?
Fair enough.
What can I do for you all?
We need a favor.
I already told you in Rolo, I can't put you any higher on the wait list for the Hank Atomic. And if you're here with more candy, I'll have you know I can't be bought. Call it a personal code of conscience.
Actually, we're looking to do some research.
Now you're speaking my language. What are you looking for?
That's the thing, we sort of don't know. What do you got on the history of the town?
There's the county record archives.
What's in those?
Births, deaths, newspaper clippings, stuff like that. Pretty boring reading. But they do go all the way back to when the town was founded.
Great, we'll start there.
Chapter 8.
Ooh, we reached chapter 8, dang. Okay, I said I was going to stop when we reached the next chapter, even though I really was about to hit the button and continue going. But we're going to stop here. Thank you all so much for joining me. It has been a blast. I'm starting to get a better idea of where this story is going. So apparently the reason everything keeps freezing over is because of something underground in the original Beacon Pines. Now I'm guessing that Gran's little explosive plan is actually going to cause a reaction, rather than what Iggy did with the fireworks and kind of like froze it over instead. So if it's just the right amount of energy, then it'll cause it to kind of freeze itself. But if it's too much energy, it's probably just going to freeze the entire town. Again, since apparently the first time did that too. Sort of. So I'm wondering if maybe Luca's dad, who was a doctor who knew something weird was going on, and knew where the source of it was, went and tried to destroy it and ended up causing it to freeze everything. And everybody got moved out of the town by Perennial Harvest, so that they could replicate the whole town and bring them back, and no one would ask questions, and they could continue digging up the stuff they were collecting underground. Which would make sense. They covered themselves up, but at the same time, what's the deal with the goo? Because that goo makes things like super age. It's like it makes it, because it did to the dead branch, made it bloom and then die. And then when it hit Iggy, it made him, I don't really know if you can really call that him age, because Beck's hair turned gray when she got a little on her. It's weird. I'm not sure what exactly is happening. So the material underground in the original Beacon Pines is what causes the freezing. So what's the goop supposed to be? Unless the goop is supposed to be like a undoing the damage type thing. Because I feel like the Valentine's is doing one thing, and Perennial Harvest is doing another. Because Luca's dad definitely knew that Sharper was doing something bad, and he's the reason that things happened the way they did. Perennial Harvest is most likely behind covering up what happened with Sharper, but taking what he was doing and continuing it in their own way. But I guess we'll only find out when we come back to it next time. For now, thank you for joining me. Hope you like and subscribe so you can be here for the next one, because I'm excited for the next one. And I'll see you guys next time. This is SonicRanger, signing out. Bye!